You know those notice boards you see in local shopping centres? They're a real business, making good money and helping local businesses grow. Let's go and meet the two fellas behind this clever local area marketing initiative. Before we get stuck into episode 399 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the Marketing Gold is made possible thanks to Prosper and American Express. Prosper is Australia's #1 online lender to small businesses. You can quickly apply online for loans up to 250 large ones, get a fast decision and in most cases receive the funding in under 24 hours. You can give them a buzz, see if they can work for you. 1300 882 867. Tell them Timbo sent you. And you gotta love the American Express Business Explorer credit card. It comes with a 50,000 points bonus every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the very swish Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport. Terms and conditions apply, but you knew that. Search Amex Business to find out more.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I am your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, you're a motivated business owner and you are ready. You are here to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Nice, short, sharp show for you today, team. We meet the founders of those community notice boards you see located outside of supermarkets around the country, and Melbourne SEO Services' Dave Jennings, and I will show you how to get your website working harder. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser. Or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
Speaking of websites, I have taken the step finally. Been stuffing around a bit, but I have finally taken the step to rehaul the Small Business Big Marketing website. It's been a few years. It has stood me in very good stead. However, like all things, they need to evolve. And so I'm working actually with Dave Jennings from Melbourne SEO Services to actually get a crankingly good new website up in the next few weeks. It's going to have some training products addressing some of the, I know, the issues and blockages that you have as a small business owner. So I'm going to be creating some products myself, some training, and also bringing in some red hot experts to offer some training as well. There'll also be a book section. Often people ask me, what am I reading? So I'm going to have a section on business books and a whole lot of good stuff. So that is in development and pretty excited about that. Also excited about the fact that the mastermind idea that I shared last week has got some traction. A few of you are interested. What I'm talking about is getting a group of people together, like you, motivated small business owners, once every couple of months in Melbourne and Sydney, and running a half-day mastermind followed by some lunch with me, where we basically get to help grow your businesses. I'll give advice. I'll share what's on my marketing mind, but it's also an opportunity for those around the table to do the same. I still need to go out to my list. If you're not on my list, head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and you can join my list and get a sense of what people are thinking out there. But it's an idea that is in development but seems to be pretty well accepted so far. Stay tuned for more details on that. Righto, on with the show. You and I will be meeting some amazing business owners and marketers over the coming weeks. Canadian entrepreneur Troy Packett shares how he's building an empire selling air Candy, what's that about? We will find out. And ex-TV journo Renee Bunster is smashing it with her hot chili sauce, aptly named Shit the Bed. Gotta love that name. We'll find out just how successful that name has been in that episode in a couple of weeks' time. Which brings us to today's guests, Joe Dorfman and Joel Abel, founders of Notice Board Systems, which are those community notice boards you may have seen in your local shopping centre, often located outside the supermarket. They're a place for local businesses to promote themselves and for locals to sell household items. Now, I don't know about you, but I always assumed these notice boards were simply put there by the local shopping centre management or the local footy club as a bit of a community service. However, it's actually a real business, making some pretty good coin. There's 650 notice boards around Australia, and they claim to be reaching 6 million customers each week. So curiosity got the better of me, and I had to find out more. Let's go and meet Joe and Joel. Joe and Joel, welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show.
Thank you, Tim.
Now, just to get clear, Notice Board Systems, it's a real business?
It is.
It's a real business, Tim.
We have fun in it, but it is a real business.
What did you say? You have fun in it?
We have fun in it, but it is a real business.
No doubt. What's the fun part?
It's varied, it's exciting, it's challenging, it's never, no day's the same.
Do you know, I have looked and interacted with those notice boards at the front of my local IGA for many years. And I honestly, subconsciously thought that that's just nice of the footy club to have put that there.
Well, someone's looking at our notice boards.
It is.
That's what I say. Someone's listening to my podcast. Where'd the idea come from?
I'll leave that to Joel.
Probably out of necessity, I think. I was looking for something to get involved in and couldn't find work that was allied to what I wanted, and saw an opportunity and it grew from there. So it was really out of a figment of imagination, I think.
Right. You hadn't seen it anywhere else?
No.
It was just like... So what was the original idea? Can you remember?
I can't actually, probably going back 15 years maybe.
Right.
But it was, I think, something to be able to give some local exposure. I thought, there's a high foot traffic area and it was being underutilised, and how can that be used to the benefit of all parties? And kind of out of that came the idea of marrying local businesses to a target market.
What were you doing at the time?
I was in the meat business.
In the meat, of course you were. Yeah. Of course you were.
So I've always been on the chopping board.
Now you're on the notice board. Boom, boom. So you've had this idea. So, and it, with respect, it is changing from what I understand. You're going digital, but the idea in its current form probably hasn't changed for 15 years.
The form hasn't changed. The background and the medium and the processes have moved beyond belief.
Okay, so let's just explain the premise of the idea. It is a notice board that sits outside local supermarkets, 650 of them around Australia, for locals to post piano for sale ads and for the odd business to spend some money on an actual ad. Is that right?
In a nutshell.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's the fundamental process. I mean, the key is that it's an opportunity for the community to engage with each other, the local customers, and then for local businesses to be able to engage by promoting their business on the board.
Okay. All right. You must have seen some pretty funny ads in your time.
I think we've seen a cross-section of ads.
Funniest?
Yeah. Oh, look, I think that... I was just trying to think of an ad that was humorous. We had an ad in one instance where the logo of a business, and a business completely unrelated, was a hairdresser for that matter. And when the logo arrived in our design team's inbox, our designer called us over and said, "Joe, can you just come and have a look at this and just see if you can improve it?" And had a look at the design, and it was a cartoon impression, but it was a little bit below the belt in the context of the way it portrayed a female's body.
Right.
This is a hairdresser.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing to do with the hair.
So you approved it?
So we put that in the bin in 2 seconds, Tim. Okay.
Come on,
This is
Joe.
a community notice board. But the designer wanted it. I can tell you, he thought this was great. It brightened up his day.
Yeah.
So that's probably...
from what interested me about this idea when I came across it was the fact that It's local area marketing at its most raw, I suppose. We live in a very virtual world these days, Facebook and podcasts and all that type of stuff. And this is just back to basics, isn't it? You know, it's almost like we've forgotten that people walk to the supermarket and potentially buy things. Yeah.
I think probably fundamentally, Tim, one of the underlying factors that's contributed to the success of the program is the fact that it is very community-based. It's community-based for the supermarket who wants to be able to show that they have a huge community presence. So the board becomes their community statement, so to speak. The local population are able to interact with each other non-invasively. So it's a very easy medium to use. There's no pressure. People can interact and look at it, and notes come on and off all the time. It's also for local businesses to get a local community presence for them and to highlight their services to that very local market that they're working and operating in. So it's really a triangular approach with the pinnacle of each point of the triangle being very specific to each category and taking care of it quite well.
Beautifully simple business. Wrap some numbers around it. You've got 650 boards around Australia. Revenue, staff... What can you tell us?
Well, I think the most amazing number is that we actually reach approximately 6 million customers a week. That's Australia-wide. Yep. That's amazing. That's really amazing. That's incredibly powerful. Numbers vary up and down. Our team varies up and down. We have a very stable team, which is great. So,
how many on the team?
At the moment, about 16, I think.
16?
No,
with the salespeople mainly?
Mostly, probably half and half.
Yeah, a national sales team. So we've got a sales team in just about every state, and covering the width and breadth of the country, from Port Douglas to Kalgoorlie to and what do you charge? What's an ad cost on the board?
On average, an ad wouldn't cost more than a cup of coffee a day.
Really?
Yep.
I like the way you've done that. You got to buy a year's worth or a month's worth? What have you got to do?
It varies. There's various terms. Business can come in for a short period, maybe 6, 12 months, 18 months. Some have been on for 24. We've advertised with us for 5 years.
Wow.
Tim, the beauty about it is there's exclusivity. So you don't have your competition on the board. So you if you're a childcare centre, you're the childcare centre that features. So you're a real estate agent, you're the one. Whereas any other form of local area marketing, you're generally with your competition.
Yeah, you are.
And people have to work it out through the minefield, or who do we go to? It's just you. Your brand is the focal point in your industry.
You've got a 78% renewal rate, is that right?
Yeah, between 70-75% renewal rate.
That's extraordinary. Is that because you think it's working, or because the advertiser is too scared to give it up because the competitor will take it?
I think there's a combination. I think that 50% of my advertising works. I'm just not sure which 50%, and I think that speaks true for this in the sense that you're not spending a lot of money, and you're in position. You're in prime position. You've got a virtual shop front to your local target marketing, and it's not costing you an arm and a leg. If you measure and you measure properly, well, you'll be able to see that we're getting foot traffic. The very first advert that I personally sold is still on the board 7 years ago. A martial arts, karate business for kids. Yeah. And I can tell you, it was in the 7 years, it was probably one of my hardest sales.
Right.
It was the first one, obviously.
Yeah, always the hardest.
Yeah. Is
Joel still giving you commission on that?
Joel was reluctantly paying me commission at the time.
He's like that.
Exactly. And it was a tough decision for them at the time. Is this going to work? What are we spending? Their money's tight. We've got a very tight budget. We're a small business. And 7 years later, they're still there.
What's the sales pitch when you walk into a martial arts firm, or a business, or a real estate agency? What do you tell them?
Well, I guess the first thing is, who's your target market? Who are you looking to? Where's your where do your customers come from? And invariably, it's local. Yeah, it's the people who shop at the store. It's the mums, it's the dads, it's the kids, it's the family, it's at your house. About your health. It's the people in the store. If they're your target market, then it's an absolute no-brainer.
There you go. You're sold.
One of the things as well, I think Joe raised a really good point, is that it is such a very there's so much variety to this medium. It is so flexible, and local businesses
do the sell on me, Joel. Come on.
Local businesses use it as a little shop front. It's honestly, we have. It's quite amazing, Tim. We had a solar business who took a panel from us. They had a competition little
Excuse
box.
the pun. You know what you did there.
Absolutely, I did. So when the light was shining. And they used that to actually generate leads, an unbelievable lead source. So what they were doing is getting local businesses, local people to take interest in their product. It was sold locally. It was generated locally. It was all a local campaign because they operated locally, and that's where they want to capture their market. So that's one way of doing it. And many businesses use it to highlight promotions and specials and where they're growing and their growth and their community presence.
Why are there only 650 of them in Australia?
Well, I think that primarily we work closely with the IGA supermarket group, and so we obviously the number of supermarkets that they have is.
So do you have a deal with them that says we can have a bit of wall space out the front?
So we have a relationship with the store, exclusivity in relation to their community notice boards, and we're a supplier to the store. We provide a solution to what is typically a messy community notice board, and not every store has the space. Not every store has ability to be able to have a board up. So we're growing. We're growing now.
But you could be in arcades, you could be in shopping centres, you could be in.
I think one of the big things, Tim, is sustainability. It's for us to be able to really deliver a fantastic product that is manageable, that we can manage correctly, and it's I think we see that with a lot of our business that we deal with. Huge expanse, they're not able to control that expansion, and therefore things become very difficult to manage. And we've really focused on making sure that every product we have is perfectly maintained, filled. It has a return on the investment for both ourselves and the local advertisers for the store. Every aspect, every box is ticked.
How do you manage the? Do you have a merchandiser that goes out to all these boards and make sure that there's
Yeah, that's a great question, Tim.
Thank you,
because
Joel. I pride myself on my questioning.
It's a real plus in our business, and I think it's something that we're incredibly proud of. It was a huge challenge for us when we started of getting an organisation to maintain these boards for us. There's not one business that covers Australia as we do. There are, but at huge cost and whatever. So we engage the local disability organisations to actually manage these boards for us. So we've supplied work to them. These are people who would be unemployable normally. They have carers. There's varying degrees of disability, and we have given them work, and we have actually provided an unbelievable change in their lives.
Fantastic.
These people get up in the morning, they've got a reason to get out there. The store enjoys us because they see this reaching down into the local disability organisation. And in many respects, there's a lot of synergy between what the store does and that organisation. That's really helped us tremendously. And from that, we've obviously grown and developed a merchandising infrastructure.
What a great solution to what would have been a problem otherwise, an expensive problem, really.
Absolutely.
You sell a medium. Two parts to that equation. One is placement, and that's pretty obvious. You get to place your ad on the notice board. The other one is the message that you put on there, and I see this all the time with small businesses who want to advertise. They select the local newspaper, for example, and then go, what do I put in the ad? Do you provide any advice or guidance?
Yeah, I think that's, again, a good question, Tim, because we're asked that question a lot by our advertisers, and without trying to,
blow your trumpet,
give a marketing lesson to our advertisers, the most important thing is less is better, simple. Keep it simple, keep the message clean. In fact, I was talking to an advertiser this morning. We were revisiting his ad because there's too much happening on the screen. He wanted to show all his products in double quick time. So we really talk about a call to action, a measurement if they can, to be able to track and see. So if you're a fitness gym, mention this ad for 3 free personal training sessions.
You are about to expand the bit. Well, you are in the middle of expanding the business, aren't you? You're about to finally go digital. Goodbye analog.
Absolutely.
So you are now going to have a plasma screen sitting in the middle of the notice board. Does that mean you can now run, as many ads as you want to, and the size of the business is about to quadruple?
We don't know what's going to happen to the business, but definitely we're providing advertisers with what is now an exciting era, and that's digital. The out-of-home advertising space is growing substantially. It's where businesses need to be, and we're giving local small businesses a chance to now really feature their businesses visually with moving images. And with the flexibility of being able to change their message at very short notice.
Digital out of home, second fastest growing media category in the world.
Yeah.
You're at the forefront, Bugsy. You're at the bleeding edge. Who would have thought?
We've worked hard. and we've got a long way to go. But it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And what is very interesting, Tim, is that the switch to digital has actually been a fairly easy transition because we've done real due diligence on our boards. We've maintained the product. We've got the right real estate. So by putting the screens on there has really enhanced what we've already had. And we've built on that a very solid platform. So going into digital is almost like a sort of natural extension of where we should be.
So is there a big mission control room, big dark room somewhere down the road with thousands of... It'd be like NASA, wouldn't it?
Up in the clouds.
It's actually not easy to manage, but with technology these days, you can just about do it from anywhere.
Yeah, right. Look, I think it's a great story. What do you say to a business that is struggling with their local area marketing besides buy an ad on one of your notice boards?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think...
I would say to them to reach out. I think the most important thing that any business can do is to reach out to their client base all the time. Communicate, be out there, just put their name out there. Many businesses say, there's too much digital, we're just going to go in one medium, it's too expensive. But the real reality is, Joe mentioned earlier, is spending 50% on advertising, not knowing, or 50% too much or too little, not knowing where it's going. Every business has to continuously reach out. They've got to keep their name in front continuously. How they do that, where they do it, what mediums they use is really entirely up to them, depending on what their spend is and what they've got available. But I think, from our perspective, that ability to reach out is very, very good from a local perspective, and that's what we can offer them.
Well, I never thought it was a business. Now it's clearly a business. Well done. And I wish you all the success with Notice Board Systems expansion into the digital age.
Very exciting stuff ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, there they are, Joe and Joel, founders of Notice Board Systems. And you can find out more if something in there has piqued your interest over at NBS. That's Notice Board Systems, team.com.au, nbsteam.com.au. Coming up, I'm going to share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with the guys. Plus, Melbourne SEO Services Dave Jennings has another tip to ignite your website. Here's a money-making tip from American Express member and Four Pillars Gin founder, Stu Gregor.
I, for the life of me, don't understand why a business won't accept Amex, because what you're potentially doing is knocking back customers who want to spend money on your product or your brand or your service or whatever it is. And I frankly don't understand it. If someone wants to give me their Amex and buy 10 bottles of gin, I tell you what, I'll take their Amex, thanks very much. You're potentially also denying yourself a big chunk of corporate business as well. Because a lot of sales guys, I know me in my own business, I use Amex. And if I ring to make a booking at a restaurant or a bar or something, I say, do you accept Amex? And they say no, I go somewhere else. So they don't even know the business they're missing out on. It beggars belief. And I often find myself having these rather awkward conversations at the with a shopkeeper or a bar owner or a restaurateur saying, why wouldn't you take it? I'll pay you the extra. I'll pay 1.5, the credit card service fee or whatever you want. Take my money.
It's Business 101, really. Make it easy for people to give you money. Speaking of money, the American Express Business Explorer credit card comes with 50,000 bonus points every year, a low interest rate, and 2 points on every dollar you spend. Not to mention a couple of tickets to the very swish Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport. Search Amex Business to find out more. New American Express card members only. Terms and conditions apply. Cash flow in business is everything, right? That's why I'm excited to introduce you to Prosper, Australia's #1 online lender to Aussie small businesses. But don't take my word for it. Small business owner Nioli Scobie of Truly Tea won the contract to supply the Opera House and needed to quickly ship tens of thousands of tea bags and 2 tons of loose leaf tea. Where was she going to get the money for that?
Well, I already supplied part of the Opera House, and then they offered me inside the Opera House, which is a very big deal, and I had to have a lot of stock on hand. They place an order, they want it the next day, and I wasn't going to say no to them. I'd knocked back too many opportunities in the past, so I phoned up a finance guy I trusted. He said, look, there's a new player on the market, Prosper, give them a call. I gave them a call, and within 24 hours, I had the money in the bank.
Prosper, Prospa. That's where she got the money. Apply online in 10 minutes to borrow up to $250,000. Call 1300 882 867 or visit prosper.com/Timbo. My top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with Joe and Joel, thanks to Prosper and American Express. Attention grabber number 1. I'm reminded of the importance of local area marketing. You know, whilst we talk a lot about modern online marketing methods on this show, I reckon there's something to be said for getting out into your local community and making yourself and your business known. Local area marketing. Put that on your calendar of things you must do this year to grow that beautiful business of yours. Attention grabber number 2. I like the way the boys are managing growth. Now, whilst they could probably, I guess, have a notice board on every street corner, they've made a strategic decision to get their offering right before expanding further. It's cool. I like that. Takes courage, you know? Sometimes we can leap forward, you know, at 100 miles an hour only to trip ourselves up. So I like their kind of considered growth strategy. And attention grabber number 3, I love the way they engage the local disability associations to help with the merchandising of the boards. Fantastic. What a win-win that is. How could your business do the same? Well, that's what grabbed my attention. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/399. Let me know what grabbed yours.
Ignite your site.
You know, with so many underperforming business websites out there, this segment, well, it's laser focused on ensuring yours is not one of them. To get your website found and your phone ringing, we're joined by Dave Jennings of MelbourneSEOservices.com. DJ, what's on your mind?
I can't believe that about 97% of people who visit your website aren't ready to order right now. They don't want to buy your products and services just yet. Maybe they're in research mode. Maybe they've just landed on your website.
Having a look around, bit of a window shop.
And it's a crying shame that you go to all that effort to get them to the website, and then you don't capture their details.
Yeah, right.
Here's what I'd do. It'd be really simple. You just offer something of value. It might be a PDF, a video, maybe an audio.
Ebook.
Yeah, anything really. You just something of value.
High perceived value to the recipient, low cost to the business owner.
And something that someone would want to exchange a name and email for.
Nice.
And then you do that. It's a really easy way to keep delivering value to them and stay front of mind for them. So when they are ready to buy, you're the first one that they choose.
And you have got this asset of an email database that you can then do something with down the track, which we might cover in another tip.
There's a good idea. We'll add that into the mix because this was just one of 20 proven ways to get found on Google and get more people through your door. Just email me, Dave at MelbourneSEOservices.com. Write Ignite in the subject and you'll get my free authority website checklist.
Thanks, DJ. That is just one more way to
Ignite your site.
Holy dooly, you and I cover some serious business and marketing ground in this show. We've previously caught up with Channel 9 newsreader Peter Hitchner, who's mastered social media. 4 hours a day he spends on it, but boy, oh boy, he's getting a return. Digital nomad Mark Phillips, who runs a 6-figure business from his tent, has joined us previously, and so has Mon Purse's Lana Hopkins, who's mastered the art of product personalisation. You'll find those episodes plus hundreds more over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, a site in redevelopment, I'm excited to say. Or you can subscribe free on your favourite podcast app, which means that you'll never miss, ever, another episode. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. Hit the contact button over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com where you can email me, ask me a marketing question, connect with me on social media, and grab a signed copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect. Thanks to American Express Business Explorer credit card for making this show possible. It's the credit card that ensures your business expenses reward you. Bizarre, I know, but true. Search Amex Business and see what they've got to say. And be sure to check out Prosper, Prospa. These guys are doing some really cool stuff. They're Australia's #1 online lender to small businesses, and you can quickly apply online for loans up to $250,000, get a fast decision, and in most cases receive the funding in under 24 hours. Visit prosper.com/Timbo or give them a buzz. Just say, hey, how can you guys help me? I need some coin, sort of short term, to do some stuff, and I'll pay you back. Give them a buzz, 1300 882 867. Tell them Timbo sent you. And if you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, and I really hope you do, because if you got that far, you got this far, it means you do, I think, then let another business owner know about it by grabbing their phone and downloading it onto their podcast app for them. They'll be forever in your debt, and so will I. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. Always have been, always will be. Thanks for tuning in to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.